Hello all, this is lokayata and I'm happy to welcome you all. Today is a new video and in the new video I'll discuss about another, as you guessed it, a fallacy. So yesterday I did upload a video on the history fallacy. This is something of a historian fallacy where people claim that you don't need historians to tell history and all our history is just there on the temples and the walls. So today I'll be debunking some of these aspects and I'll highlight why you seriously need an intellectual historian and why we need to study history as an interesting subject rather than a boring subject. History has been made into a boring subject for various reasons, but the main reason I think history should be studied is from a interesting perspective that nobody can fool around. And there are common Facebook posts that actually make fool out of you. Here is one example. It says, we don't need historian to tell us our past is engraved on the stones in our world-class temples. Image shows Bhishma Pitama lying on a bed of arrows, the Chennakeshwara temple, Belur, Karnataka. Apparently, there are some issues here. It says we don't need historian. Ironically, the same people who share these posts are also the same people who quote Megasthenes Indica, or they will even quote Vikram Sampath. And also, it shows the inferiority complex of the North, that they are quoting a South temple for appropriation. Here is the Herodotus, the Greek historian. And while people can disagree on various scholars, but he is one of the first historians in the world to use empirical evidences to write history, and one of the few. So whether you like it or not, Greeks started the tradition of writing history. Here is another. People who say we don't need historian should be asked this question: are you even denying Kalhan's Raj Tarangini, which is actually a description of the kings of Kashmir and about the dynasties there? So people who share that post and should remember you have Kalhan's Raj Tarangini, which actually describes the king's lineage and all that about the Kashmir. And this is an unintellectual activity. Here is another reason. People who say we don't need historian to tell our past. How do you know about a king like Harshvardhan? I mean, there are various ways to know, but you need some account of him. So here is Harshcharitam by Bana Bhatt, which actually talks about the king Harshvardhan and his empire. Otherwise, how would you come to know about it? And it's an empire and it's the king. It's all confirmed by the traveler's account, the coins and the inscription. Here is our present days, one of the famous world-class historian, Yuval Noah Harari, and one of my favorite as well. I highly recommend his books. I think he has done an incredible job in writing those books, and I encourage them to give it a read. I will put the links to the PDF books of his writings in the description. So once the video ends, you can go out, check those books, PDF links. Here are his books: Sapiens, A Brief History of Mankind; Homo Deus, A Brief History of Tomorrow; 21 Lessons for 21st Century. I think they are thoroughly good reads. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you believe left or right, but I'm going to put the links in the description to these books. Traveler account, you can see the Megasthenes, you can see Ibn Battuta, Marco Polo, Al-Biruni, and you have Fahian, Hyun Sang. They are some of the famous traveler. And it's their traveler account that corroborates or confirms whether a king existed or not. I mean, somebody on our own doesn't write, and people believe that only doesn't show its history. It should be corroborated by the traveler account. And traveler accounts, when they write something, that also needs to be corroborated with the inscriptions and coins and language and script of that time. When all of these tally, then a history is written. Another part of a historical study is use of the language and the script that actually tells at what time, at what geographical area that particular language or a script developed, and the kings which are being described by the chronicles and which are described being the traveler account is using that or not. When that is confirmed, you know, okay, that certain king existed and they used this language, this script, and then you can create an historical account and continue with the dating. Coins and inscriptions also are invaluable. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you are this ideology or that ideology. Coins and inscription do play an incredibly big role, because it's in the coins that a face of a king or a ruler is inscribed. Certain, you know, mottos are written. Inscriptions talk about the thoughts of the king, or the kind of language and the script is used in describing the king's thought through the inscription. So they play a very incredible role. They actually give a final confirmation to the traveler account through the historians' chronicles and through writings of the chronicles, and also the language and the script. Once all this is confirmed, then you build an account, an historical account. Here are the 5 points that actually matter big time. Keep this 5 point in matter, okay, when you think about history. One is carbon dating. Along with carbon dating, you need to have coins and inscriptions of that time. So when something is dated like 3000 year back, 4000 or 1000 year back, what are the coins and inscriptions? And coins, along with coins and inscription, do you have the traveler account which actually talks about that when they are traveling there and telling about it? If that is confirmed, then the next question is the language and script. Is the language and script is also being talked about and described by the traveler account? Once that is confirmed, then you are left with the remains, artifacts and the descriptions. Is that also being confirmed with the archaeology which is being dug up and found? If all of this tallies together, that's why I put and. When all of this tallies, then you say whether a particular account or a story is a historical reality or is it a fictional or mythology. That's how you come up with. By that logic, you can come up with, Egyptian rulers' temples, but does that necessarily mean they really existed? No. So here I will be ending my video, but just keep this in mind that you come across those type of Facebook posts, and unfortunately they get millions of views, thousands of likes, even shares. So before anybody shares those videos, I recommend them to watch this video and make up your own mind. And I encourage people to share this video, like it, subscribe the channel, comment on it, and show it to your WhatsApp uncle aunties. They really need this. They really believe it, literally, on anything posted on Facebook. And also another thing that I would like to add is, say historians in Greek or in Egypt, they built temple. You find anthropomorphic figure, but does that mean they really existed? They did not exist really. Same thing is with the story of the Bhishma Pitama. It didn't exist really. Why? Because you need to take into account carbon dating of that place. You need to take into account the traveler accounts. You need to take of that time. You need to take into account the coins. Has there been coins used on the name of Bhishma, etc. of that people in history? Those are the things that matter. Has there been inscription which actually describes it? Those things matter. So with this, I end this video. Like, share and subscribe this channel. Thanks very much.